Thank you everyone for coming. We ended up inviting actually a third grade class, so if you want to know who the students back there are. That's a third grade class, and we're hoping that they could see how this runs because they'll be doing it next year. And plus we want to give the kids a little extra audience, so they won't feel nervous just with adults in the room. So I think it'll go great. So welcome everyone. This is has all been part of Pinnell Teach 21 is a website that we're promoting that was developed through the ESA to help with real-world learning in the classroom. So the way it works and the way the people that have worked, and we'll go around and introduce, everyone will introduce themselves, but the way it happened is we developed this website so that industry experts can connect with teachers in the classroom to do projects such as this. So this project here is a fourth grade project that was listed on the website, and Mrs. Hawkins, which is their class that did it, was brave enough to say, I want to be one of the first ones to try this. So the way she was connected was through the website, through us, through the ESA, with Ms. Garcia, who's one of our industry experts that said she could help the projects, and Mr. Chris Nienheiser, did I say that right? Nienheiser. I knew I was going to get it wrong. Who is also with Kelly Weddle. We're also from a DLR group. They're an architecture firm out of, design firm out of Tempe. Phoenix. So they got connected that way. So the way this works is the students were given a driving question is how can we as architects, because they have to take on a real world role, how can we develop a library, a proposal for a library? The great part is, since Ms. Garcia signed on, she said this is something we're doing currently in Florence, Arizona, and they're actually developing, put together plan and have built a library, or the process of building it. So it worked out perfect. One of the outcomes here, we tied everything to student learning outcomes. So Ms. Hawkins and us did a really good job of tying in the mathematics. So some of the learning outcomes, the major ones, were area and perimeter, mostly area, decomposing shapes. So one of the things they were given was a criteria of 10,000 square feet, because that's about the size, a good size for the town of Florence. I don't even know what's the one you're currently building, approximately the same? A little bit bigger? So we thought that would be a good size for a small community like Florence. So it worked great because that's part of their standards for fourth grade, is being able to decompose those shapes. They also did some work with angles, and then we also include some social studies. Mrs. Garcia was great enough to come and talk with one of the other council members about local government. That's part of their standards. One of the other things that we included was in ELA, with the new college and career ready standards, there's some speaking and listening standards, and the students had some assessment on being able to listen orally and paraphrase and re-summarize. So one of the cool parts is Ms. Garcia showed them some audio tours that are on the website for some of these buildings. That's where they did their research. They were able to go and take some audio tours. So we developed a little assessment and showed them how to take notes, organize their notes, and then be able to write a summary paragraph of the buildings they're researching. So that was a great research. Thank you for sharing it. But anyway, what else? Oh, communication and collaboration, which are 21st century skills. Those were also something that we have some people out here in the audience that are going to be evaluating the students on their presentation skills. So that's something else that's part of this type of teaching and learning. Not just the content, but some of those soft skills too. So I think we're ready to begin. We will just go down the line and just introduce yourself, kind of wave back at the audience. There's some people here from the ESA too that are helping out with evaluation. But if you just want to go down the line.
Chris Nienheiser with DLR Group.
Lisa Garcia, Town of Florence.
I'm Tom Rankin, the mayor of Florence.
All right, Tom.
I saw all these kids and they're really deep.
Oh yeah, they're very quiet too. Yeah, thank you for being quiet.
I'm Mrs. Rankin, your principal.
I'm Lisa Garcia. I'm Becky Galeen, councilperson for the town.
All right, so the way this is going to work, they're going to each come up, present. They'll probably be about 5 minutes, little presentation. They are being evaluated with a rubric, and so there's a rubric here, and one of the things they're looking at is the floor plan. If they could explain some of the area, why they assign certain sizes to certain areas, why they put those areas, justifying. Another thing in their criteria was Ms. Garcia was very informative. Was she came and talked about when this really happens in the real world, depending on where it is. So Florence has a large historic area. So if you're building something in a historic area, which we were confused, we thought it was backwards because we don't know anything about this, how this works. If you're building in a historic area, your building cannot be kind of fake historic. It has to either be modern to stand out, or you could rebuild something that's truly historic with real materials, so you could build it from a real old building and bring it. And we didn't know any of that. So the kids, we wanted them to have creativity, so we told them it was going to be outside the historic district. That way, if they wanted to make it look old and get that feel of old historic, they could. And if they wanted to make it modern, they could. And they took the liberty, and when they explained their project, you'll see that some of them picked modern, some picked a mix, some picked old historic buildings that could kind of fit in with the buildings that are there. So that's also something to look at as they present. Okay? I think I got everything. Do you need to add anything else in terms of, how about in terms of the content? Did you have anything in terms of the math? Did you get a feeling that they did a good job? And
I think they learned a lot in the math. Now, and another thing you have to remember, we only do area of rectangles or squares. And we don't do any other shape, so that's why it's all rectangle. But then I wanted to bring in the angles because we do angle measurements. So their front facade is what we called it, that they did have to have the 3 different types of angles in it: acute, obtuse,
and right.
I think they did a good job on that. 10,000 square feet was big numbers, so they had to work. They had to work together. Working together was a big. And I also like the speaking, and Ms. Garcia did help them with that too in a presentation, learning how to. They're very nervous, but they took it very seriously. They're all spiffed up today, so.
I did hear Ms. Hawkins say if we had a little more time practice, we kind of wound down to the end of the year. But
that's the one thing I would change. I would take more time.
More time. So if you see that the speaking part they're struggling, a little more practice, they would head down. But they did a good job on the floor plan. So you guys are scoring. If you want to start with the orange, would be the first one, and you could kind of talk about it after or kind of take notes. There's a place to take notes. They'll present first, and then you could ask as many clarifying questions as you want. That is also part of their standards, being able to answer clarifying questions. So we did put a binder that has the 5 plans, and they are in order. So we thought maybe if you want to take a closer look while they're talking, because this is kind of small up here. So I think we're ready to begin. So let's start with group 1. Come on up and.
Good morning, my name is Ryan. We are the ones who are making the forward for the letter, and we picked this facade because we like that how the arch stick down and so that people can see what it says on the arch. And we like how it had desert plants, and we just like the design and the color it was. And we picked this tile because it had like a good design, and I think that like adults and kids would be attracted to it. And like it's inlaid and it looks like wood, but it's made to be like tile. And we picked this window because it's how it's big, and so that a lot of light can come into the library, and so people can read more better. Hi, my name is Amia. Me and my partner are going to tell you why we put the rooms where they're at. We put the study room right here in the front, so they won't be disturbed by people who are watching the movie. We put the adults room across from the study room, so the adults won't be disturbed by the kids. And we put the charging station in the front, so they could charge their phones. Good morning, my name is Daniela. Me and my group picked this building because we think it's big enough to have lots of rooms inside. And we put the movie room right there so they're really interested people who are studying. And we put the kids room right there because we don't want them to disturb the study room as we get close to them. And we put the bathroom close to the entrance so people won't have to walk far to the back. And we put the check-in and check-out, and we put the check-in and check-out in the entrance because people want to go to the book.
Okay, are you guys done?
Yeah.
Okay, so you stay up there because we'll have some questions for you guys, okay? So, I have one to start off with. You kept saying we picked this design. Did you pick it or did you make it yourselves? The shape and everything? You made it, you didn't find it somewhere, right? You guys designed it yourself? Okay, good. Any questions from the panel? Just feel free to ask and then we'll answer you the best possible.
How'd you guys start out designing things? Do you kind of just start sketching with pencil, or do you jump right into the computer? How'd you kind of get your ideas from your brain out to the paper?
We started with pencil and then we put it on the computer. Yeah. And then we made designs on graphics.
Yeah. Very cool. So just over time, just iteration after iteration, it kind of came together. Great job.
Did you go on the internet to see how other libraries have been laid out?
Yeah.
And you designed it kind of similar to that?
Not really. Yeah, not really, but we like made it for design.
What you thought was the
Yeah.
best layout?
They have something I've never seen, which I thought was cool. That little device charging room there. Can you tell us why you chose that? Why do you need something to charge your phones and iPads, do you think?
Charge their laptop, and then whenever they want to look up something, instead of like going into the computer room, you can just like open study room and sit down.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I was just at the airport the other day, and that's one thing I noticed is everyone was constantly charging their phone at an outlet. So I think in today's society, you definitely need that. Good idea.
I have a question. All the little people, is that all your exit points?
Yeah.
Is that for exit for emergency
Yeah,
service?
like fire.
And the main entry, I don't know if I heard where you people walk in. Where do people come in?
People check in and check out. They can like put right here,
Okay.
or like right here.
I think you did a great job overall with circulation, where you had to place the room. Like one of you mentioned how your kids' room was a little bit further away from the adult room, so you could kind of keep those groups separated and just kind of clearly walking through the space. It works really well.
Any other questions from the panel? Okay. And did you guys clarify, was your design in the front going to be more modern or more historic?
Modern.
Modern. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, and let's give them a hand clap. And then, this is going to be group 2. It's the yellow paper, and it should be number 2 on your design floor plans. So they're going to go ahead and begin. Floor is yours. Go ahead and introduce yourselves. And then...
Good morning. My name is Gabrielle Lucero. My group and I made a blueprint that is old and modern. It is not in the historical district. Inside of the library is modern and the outside is old. The population of Florence is 8% to 10% of children. So we made a little children's area. Most of the space in our library is going to be with adults. We put a lot of the pews in the computer room because we should have a high percent of technology. Now I'm going to be talking about the facade. The facade has posts that represents that they are old because back then people used to tie their horses onto the posts. And our roof has 2 sections. The bottom section looks like the posts are holding the bottom section, and the bottom section looks like it's holding the top section. And we have a garden on the sides and the walkway in the middle, leading you to the entrance of our Florence Public Library. And this is how our facade looks when it is drawn. And we have an obtuse, acute, and a right angle. Our obtuse angle is 20.9 degrees, and our obtuse angle is 155.0 degrees, and our acute angle is 20.9 degrees, and our right angle is 90. Good morning, my name is Sarah Masters, and I'm doing the materials of our Florence Public Library. And first I'm going to start off with the tiles. We picked the tiles because it would look good in front of our facade. And for our posts, it's called the Newell post, and some people call it the oak stone. We thought it would look good as a part of Florence. And for our glass windows, my group and I picked the glass windows because we thought like a lot of light would go into our building. And for our doors, we picked that because it's modern and it kind of blends in with Florence.
Hi, my name is Isabel, and me and my partner have been telling you about the rooms, the restrooms, arts and crafts, storytelling room, study and computer room, and historical theater room. So I'm gonna start off with the historical theater room. So the historical theater room is where they can go to the historical theater room and watch stuff about like George Washington, and they could do like the stuff about George Washington. Then every Friday night there's gonna be a movie, like any kind of movie for like kids, and that's our historical theater room. Study and computer room are going to be our computers, where if they read a book and they want to learn about stuff in there, that the book said that you can look up on online stuff that you can do. So if they want to do that or do stuff on there, any different stuff, but not like other stuff that's not from the library. So, that's our computer room. And kids storytelling room, that's going to be our storyteller. So our storyteller is going to tell stories to the kids that the kids, and that's our kids storyteller room. And here's our checkout, our entranceway and our checkout. So this is our checkout. When kids or grown-ups are done, they can come and check out their books right here, and they can check out their books and check in their books. When they walk in, they better check in their books right there. And I'm going to pass it on to my partner, Chris.
Hi, my name is Christopher Gutierrez, and I'll be telling you about the other half of the library. We added I'm gonna start off with the adult books, and we added a big space for the adults because there is 92% of adults and 8 to 10% of kids, and we added seats for they could sit down and look at it, or they could read it with someone if they like to. And on arts and crafts, we could put kids for if they like to draw or do art stuff, they could go to there and we did a 600 square feet of bathroom on the end, and
big on our entrance gate. We did a big door for enough stuff to get fit through. And any questions?
Whose idea was it to put the arts and craft room in? I would tell you that in today's, the way we have to budget money and everything, I'm glad to see that in there. I think it's a very good addition to the library. Because libraries are also learning experience, and arts and crafts also learning experience. I think you did a great job on that.
I have a question. How did you figure out the statistical data on the population of the percentage of children to adults?
Oh, we thought that.
She means, where'd you get the information? Where did you find out?
The information we just, the information we got from the.
Where did we look it up at? Where, how did we find those numbers?
Any of you can answer. Do you remember?
On the computer?
Let her know. On the internet? Is that what you got?
Yeah. We got it on the internet. Yeah.
I think that's very good information that you guys got that. Before you want to start a design like that, you want to make sure you know who the user is, who's going to be using it, whether it's an adult, a child, or male or female. To know that information, and you can start to lay out your space with all of that. Good job.
Oh.
Any more questions for group 2? Good? All right. Thank you guys. Good job. Let's give them an applause. Okay, and we're ready for group number 3 to present. And you guys can go ahead and share, and then they'll have questions after, okay? So.
Good morning, my name is Maria Martinez, and I'm going to tell you about the facade. And the facade is going to be glass, and the building is going to be in Florence Public Library. And building's going to be modern, not historical. And we have all 4 angles. We have obtuse, right, and acute.
Hi, my name is Bethany, and I will be telling about the materials. Our building will be adobe so that it will stay cooler inside. We are going to plaster it so that we can paint this beautiful blue, and our windows are going to be a rhombus shape, and the frame will be steel, and that's the material.
Hi, my name is Hannah. I will be talking about the check-in and check-out, the reading room, and book stacks. First off is the check-in and check-out. We put it down here because when people walk out, they could steal books, so we put it down there where they can't walk out with books just right there. And right here is our reading room, and right next to our reading room is our charging station. The reading room has some tables so we can take money, and the charging station is very and here, over here, we have 8 book stacks and 3 tables and 1 table.
Hi, my name is Brandon, and I am going to be telling you about these 4 rooms. And so, the children's room is going to be 2,000 square feet. It's going to have 5 bookshelves, and so kids can read. And then they have sofas and tables, just in case they want to read there. They have chests for like toys, shoes. And then we have TVs here in case they want to watch something educational. And then here is a fire exit in case there's a fire somewhere. They can exit through here. And then here is the computer room. There is computers, and the area is 2,000 square feet. There's going to be tables if they want to study or write anything there. And then there's going to be another fire exit right there. And then there's printers if they want to print something from the computer. And then here's a game room. The game room is going to have computers if they want to play. And then there's like little, like where the games are at, TVs. And then here are the tables, just in case, like, again, they want to study. And then, or they could put like board games. And then here is another fire exit, just in case there's a like fire. And in the bathrooms, they're going to install the sinks for the girls, 300 square feet. And then for the men's, they're going to have it's going to be 300 square feet. They'll install their own fences. And that's the end of the presentation.
I have a question. So where did you guys come up with 300 for the restrooms?
Because we don't want to have too big of a restroom or too little of a restroom.
Is there a formula for that? Did someone give you that square footage? Who did? Chris did? Okay. And we assumed, because we were Skyping with Chris when he was kind of giving them feedback because they designed it on graph paper first. And they wanted to make sure it's not too big, too small. But we assumed you had some kind of calculator because he did look down and do something. Did you want to share?
It's not exact science. I didn't look up this specific number, but there will be codes relating to how many fixtures, how many toilets you need. With the occupant load, which would be how many people you expect to be in the building. So that'll determine how big your restrooms will be.
Cool.
But that would be approximate. So
he took that, they took it to heart, because I think all of them were like, we got to make them around 600, because that looked good. Did you have a question?
I do. I have a question, and maybe more for the architect, but maybe you guys can tell me. Why is the men's and the women's restroom the same size?
Because maybe we don't want to have the men's restroom bigger than the women's restroom.
I ask that because in my experience, women's restrooms need to be larger. For some reason, they're not. So I just wondered why you made them exactly the same size.
We wanted them to be equal and not to be both of them at the same.
Thank you.
Wow. Equal opportunity laws.
I have a question. I noticed that you have a children's room separate from the adults, and this is the first design I've seen where it's actually separate with the library. Can you tell us why you did that?
Actually, we were thinking that maybe while the adults would go in one room and the kids could be watched by a person in that room.
I do want to say that I really like that, and that's been a goal that I know has been discussed at the town of Florence about having separate areas because the adults don't particularly like for the children to be in their area.
Most of us have kids, and we thought that maybe they would want to read silently for a while, so we put the kids in one room where the parents can read by themselves in there.
Thank you.
How did you come up with the design for Florence, knowing the historical area it is, that you came up with that?
So is it the glass part? Like why the glass? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I take a look at it, and I'm wondering how you came up with it. What made you come with that design?
Which one, the facade or just the whole building?
Well, the front there where you can see it, how you have it all with all the different angles and everything like that. How did
We
you
just
come up-
experimented with what it would be like, and we were gonna originally do the facade without the two sides, and then we just started experimenting, adding more angles on it.
And you pointed at the picture. Where did you get that picture?
Safari.
Safari? Okay. But what's that picture of?
It's
Seattle. It's Seattle. It's the Seattle Library. We thought it was very unique and
and modern.
Unique and modern. And maybe a lot of people from Florence haven't been to Seattle. And give them a little experience there in their own town. That's a good idea.
Something new is always good. We live in historic, history is nice, beautiful, but when you look into the future and you see the future and you see new design and things like that, I'm really impressed with that.
We kind of try to get the children's room and the adults room same amount, but since we can imagine more kids in the future, we kind of just.
All right. Any more questions? Group 3? No. All right. Let's give them a hand clap. Good job. Thank you. This is group 4. You guys ready? All right. Group 4 is ready to present. So go ahead and listen to the exam.
My name is Eliana. We created a blueprint for a library in Florence. We made our building modern because we thought it would draw in more people. Our building is not going to be located in the historical district. The population of children is going to be 8% through 10%. So that means that we have to make a small children's area, and the population of adult area is 82%. Our technology is going to be the charging station and the computer lab. We think that our building is going to attract kids and adults. Please welcome my helper.
Thank you, Leona. We chose these windows because we thought they would let light in from the top of the building. We chose this brick because we thought it would go with this kind of column. The column material is going to be made out of marble, which can withstand all weather. The screen tile on the road, you could see it, and then it would look like grass from the road, and it would blend in with the desert area. We chose this wooden floor because it is modern in new and old buildings.
Thank you.
Please welcome my group member, Alexia.
Hi, my name is Alexia, and I'm going to tell you some rooms in our building. The first thing we're going to talk about is the check-in and check-out. We did the check-in and check-out because we thought because there's 92% of adults, so they probably wanted to read books so they can check in and check out the books. The next I'm going to talk about is the living room. We did the living room because we wanted people to watch like history of Florence. And the next is the computer room. We did the computer room because we thought that people would want to study there, and we put it in the middle. Because we thought that was the bigger room, and we could put a lot of computers in there. And then the next room is a charging station. We did the charging station so they could charge their electronics if they needed to study.
Hi, my name is Isaiah, and I'm going to tell you some more of the room. The first room I'm going to tell you is the puppet room. We did a puppet room so the kids can be occupied while the adults are out looking for books. We did a reading room, that way the people can just go over there and read on their own time. We did an office, that way the council members and the librarians and the manager can all have meetings. We did a teen room because after school teens might like to come over here from high school and read magazines and books, so that's why we added a teen room. We did an adult room because 92% of Florence is adults, so we had to have a big adult room. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we'll have some questions here. So if the panel has questions, then you can all help answer them. Okay?
For Florence, it's very difficult to find meeting space, so I love that you put in the component for meeting space. It can also be one way that Florence can recoup costs of the library by charging for spaces. Were you considering that when you developed that into your project?
Yes.
Very cool.
You also did a great job, and two of the groups have done this as well. Your check-in, check-out counters right at the main entrance. That's good for security of folks and everything else, but just to come in and separate check-in, check-out, I think is a very smart idea and allows for a very efficient circulation. Good job.
One thing I like about you gave the staff an office to work in, and that's very important in municipal buildings, to have the staff office, because there's a lot of things that the librarians and their assistants and bookkeepers, they have to keep that away from the public so it doesn't get lost. Good idea.
I like how you separated, and this time you gave us a teen room, so there's a transition between children and adults, and that's a very good thing, because as you know, as you get a little bit older, teens like different things than children and adults, so that's a good transition right there.
The kids like the puppets, the teens like torturing the puppets.
Like they do their little brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
I want to compliment you on the facade that you picked. Public art is huge today, and you integrated art right into the opening. It's beautiful.
Any other questions? We're good? All right, thank you. Good job. Okay, and this is our final group, so this is group 5. So take you to group 5.
Hi, my name is Rita Ramirez. We are going to build a building in the non-historical district. We made our building look old because we wanted to look like the 1891 courthouse. And we made a walkway, a concrete walkway right here, so people won't walk in the grass. And we made our check-in and check-out right here because when they walk in, they could just put their book right there, and when they walk out, they could just slide their card and get the book and then go out. And then we put the angles right here because they're obtuse, right, and acute.
Hi, my name is Olivia McKinney, and the property we're building in is in the non-historical district. We appreciate it, but we like how the old buildings in Florence look. We chose this red old brick because in 1891, we wanted to look like the old courthouse. We chose this white paneling with the gray tint because on top of the windows on the old courthouse, there was white paneling. We chose this white color pillar because on the courthouse there is what on the facade there's pillars. We chose this glass window because we wanted the people in the reading area, the computer area, and the study room to look out on the beautiful courthouse. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Zoe Delana Marcus Perales, and we are making a building in the non-historical district. We are making a Florence Public Library, and I'm going to be telling you about inside the building. First, you'll see that there is an adults area and a teens area. We have a big amount of space for the adults and teens because there is more adults and teens than children. In the corner, you see that there is children's area, and we have a small amount of space for children's because there is 8 to 10% of children than adults and teens. we have the reading area and the computer area next to each other because whatever they're doing and whatever they're focusing on, they need to concentrate. We also have the study room right here because whatever they're doing, they need to concentrate. And we have 2 long skinny rooms because so that we can have a window wall so they can look out in the courtyard. We also have emergency exits in case there is a fire. They could go out and to the emergency exits. And we have, whenever it's hot, they can stay inside, and whenever it feels good, they could study outside and read their books. Thank you.
I have a quick question for those of us that can't see. Can you point to how much of that is outside the courtyard? Can you point?
Right here. Here's the outside.
Okay, the whole center section is the courtyard. Cool. Thank you.
I mentioned that to you earlier. I think that's a great idea with the local climate to kind of have a open space courtyard and come out and bring folks outside where you don't want to stay inside for most of the year. It's pretty pleasant outside, so I think it's a great idea to get people to not just stay inside the building.
Questions, panel? Questions? Comments?
Where do you all plan on keeping most of your books? Where would those be housed? Or would it be more than just books? It would also be computers, a different way to access information?
Yeah, it would be computers right here, and then bookcases would just be like in every room.
Okay, separate it out.
I really like the deal with patio type. That is towards there. The one thing I've heard all day is the percentage of kids against adults, but it's a percentage of use. Your library statistics are going to show you the size of rooms that you're going to need. So always remember that. Might only have 8% kids, but 7% of those kids go. That's better than 30% of the adults. So if you're thinking about it, your computers and everything, keep that in mind too. It's the usage of it. Not how many you've got in town, but how many people actually use the facility itself.
You guys get that? Even though there's only 8%, if you really look at the total number, that might be 4,000 or 5,000 kids. So maybe I want to use it during the summer, so that space might be too small. So that's something to look at for next time. That's a pretty good point.
And a lot of groups are doing a good job of having rooms like children's rooms or public rooms, different types of spaces that would attract kids or different type of users. So I think that's a good idea as well.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And then we'll keep them back here so they can talk a little bit, and then we'll just bring them all back out and put them in front of theirs, and then we'll have one last thank you to the
And
students.
one of the reasons we looked at that percentage was because pretty much they wanted to make the library like total kids. You know what I mean? So they had all these grand ideas, so we kind of had to have them.
More of a
I had to kind
Yes,
I had to get them kind of focused on, everybody, not just
Think about
a
that.
playground, a game room.
Yes, but think about that next time if you do another library project or any kind of a recreation deal or something like that. Percentage, what is your usage?
Going to be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they wanted.
They the whole thing was going to be kids.
Ping pong rooms, and we're like, wait, I think they might have a rec center. This is not a rec center.
Yeah, we kind of had to focus them in a little bit.
But it went well. So if you guys want to score that one, then we'll kind of have a little bit of discussion in terms of. I know we have town of Florence, and then we have architecture. So maybe we could come up maybe consensus on if this was real world, which one. And we're going to celebrate all of them, but if we could kind of talk based on our scores and what you guys, the look and feel, the architecture, what Florence has in mind, maybe pick which one would probably be one that might appeal to Florence and be accepted as a proposal. All right, thank you guys. I heard great things from everyone. We are going to look at the scores because what they did is give you a rubric. They said they were all very good, and they'll give you some feedback right now. And then Mayor Rankin has a little presentation for you guys. But first of all, let's thank them for helping you guys do this, okay? So what do we say to our guests?
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Hawkins, if you have to add anything, I know they're going to go ahead and present them with something, but anything to add as far as that?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, good job, guys. I think you did a good job. Let's give one last hand. Okay, you're up.
Well, kids, let me tell you something. You guys did a heck of a job. Public speaking is not, I'm not the best public speaker in the world. You guys did great, though, as far as making eye contact with us as we sat here in front of you today. I know you're worried about it. Usually old people coming in here to talk to you. But you did a good job. When you make presentations, you like that, I thought that was really great. Your designs are unique. There are some of them I really like, some of them I have a question about how that fit in Florence and everything, but hey, you got to look out for the new and everything, and I really appreciate that job. We're building a new aquatic center over in Florence. Got a couple of slides, a deal where you can stand there and we're going to dump a whole bunch of water on you all at one time. There's an Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a diving area. We've got a play area. We have rooms to rent out for parties and things like that. But what we'd like to do, because you guys did a great job today for us, we really appreciate it. We like coming out here. I'm going to give your teachers some passes. Now, this expires the last day of July of this year. But this will entitle you to come in if you're giving us Hawkins. That'll let you come over to Florence, go swimming in there, go down our slides. You might even see me out there going down that road. But we want to say on behalf of the town, Councilman Galene, Lisa, thank you for allowing us the opportunity to come out here and talk to you and to meet you. And we hope you come to Florence, and we hope you have a real good time.
All right,
okay?
Thank you. One more thing, we are going to keep your boards. We had talked about Ms. Garcia. She's going to try to swing it if she can. We might do this also, is when their new library does open, we're thinking of, as a celebration, have these boards up in the lobby. If she can swing it, she'll get permission. And if she can do it for us, we'll have them out there, and that way you can bring your families out to visit their new facility, and you could show your little piece of what you thought would be great for her, and you could compare. Maybe it'd be great to go and look at the new library and see what it looks like compared to what you guys thought of. So we'll try to swing that too, and we'll contact you on what dates when that library opens. Okay? All right, thank you. Anything else? We're good? All right, you guys stay by your boards, because I'm sure as they exit out, they'll come by and say one last goodbye, okay? Thank you, everyone. Kids, we videotaped all your presentations. I know we didn't have your parents come, so we're going to kind of edit it together and put it on our YouTube page. We'll send you the link. We'll do the same to you guys. So Ms. Garcia will send you a link and you can pass on. And then Chris, we'll send you the link, and that way you guys can view them again if you need to. So we appreciate it. All right? Thank you. All right. Thanks, everyone.
You do that? Good going. You guys did good. Don't be afraid to talk to old people. Old people like kids.
Oh yeah, and check the newspaper too, because Mr. King was here from the Cascade Dispatch. So
You guys did awesome. I was so proud of you guys. I'm so proud of you guys. Thank you. Alright guys, come over to school. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna take y'all. Swim with y'all. You guys are gonna go down the slide.
All right, guys. You excited? You did great. That was really impressive.
Good job.